What is going on, guys? Today we have got Football Manager 2018 and I'm in the year 2400. You've seen I've done 50 years in the future before and 200, and now I've just gone to the new century. I've gone to the year 2400. So this is going to be really interesting, and yeah, if you guys like it like this, or do we go in specific intervals? Like I could have went to 2418 to be a round number, like 400 years in the future. But yeah, let me know if you like it like this, because then when we get to the year 3000, we can do just year 3000 opposed to 3018. Let me know what you prefer either way. So let's check out. So this is almost 400 years in the future, but yeah, the year 2400. Let's see what the Premier League's looking like, and that's the only leagues, like England is the only leagues I have loaded now, because loading times, like processing, waiting takes too long. This has even been over a week since my last video in this series, I guess you can say. It's not like a normal series, because I can't do a video every single day, because simulating takes a long time, even with just the English leagues loaded and a good computer as well. As you can see, I've got 5-star graphics capability, but that's not that important. Let's check out what the Premier League is looking like right now. Manchester United, like Manchester teams, I feel like, well, they always were strong. They didn't drop off completely, but other teams were challenging. But this far into the future, both Manchester clubs, Manchester United, Manchester City, they're up there. QPR's up there. Barnet's up there. Arsenal's still up there. But out of like the bigger teams, there's a couple missing. But probably the biggest note, even if they just got relegated, Altrincham, in terms of a lower league team, I wanted to show you guys how they made it to the Premier League, essentially. They had a very long journey. Unfortunately, they haven't actually won any cups or anything like that. Or they won the Sky Bet Championship, which is all right. Major, like they got the Build Base FA Trophy, Checker Trade Trophy. Nothing really huge in terms of that anyway. So if we go to the overview and we go into their history, we're going to go way down to where I'm not going to spend too much time on them, kind of just round up. Yeah, you can see the first season, it doesn't even show. So it goes from 16-17, because see, they got relegated in that season, so they're not in a playable league in the game unless you change things in the editor. And then after the first season, they got promoted. So they were in the National League North, and they stayed there for a few seasons and got promoted to the National League, and then got into the football leagues, which is pretty good. Then after a few seasons again, they got relegated back into the National League and relegated from National League to National League North. Furthermore, but also, see, this is where they would have dropped back to. That's the league they would have been in initially, the Regional Premier Division. And then, so they made it, they were back there after getting to League One, don't forget. So that was still a good effort, but that's a bit disappointing, because that's when you become a professional club. Not hugely, like Premier League professional level, but yeah, players will be playing professional, not playing semi-professionally, not playing as far, like part-time footballers. So, and yeah, so a couple times they went back, and it took a while. They actually got to the championship there, but they got relegated right away. It took a while for them to consolidate, because there's so many years in the future here, so I'm not going to spend too much time, but you can kind of just take a glance of how they're going. So they finally just progressed to a championship club, maybe getting relegated every so often, but getting right back into the championship. And they just fought, becoming regular. They consolidated a bit there, but then got relegated to League One. And they finally made it to the Premier League. But then they got relegated. So they're a pretty like yo-yoing football club, but in the grand scheme of things, they've done very well. They've got relegated, which would be a disappointed thing for them, the big disappointment, but compared to where they started at, it's a big change for the club. But maybe just to round up as a whole, the history, Manchester City have won the Premier League 92 times, most points in the season, 103. So that's very, very dominant by Manchester City for sure. But if you go to the past winners, most recent, QPR had some I just want to see what, and they're runner-up a few times as well. I just want to show you the competitions they've won now. Okay, we'll go to overview. 13 Champions League, just to show you the years there. So it's not really one-off. They're maintained a kind of decent level Like, you wouldn't see that. Like, in real life, you can't imagine QPR. The first one there was in 2083, so that's quite a while. But what I mean after that is, they've developed into a fairly consistent club. Like, right now in this save, in 2400, the year 2400, they're established. You're not going to see them dropping out anytime soon. That is really well done for QPR compared to the football club they are in real life at the moment. That is big. And yeah, the change came more so after 200 years. Again, if we go back to that, where their first Champions League, they won in 2083, but see, was 22-14, there's 22-17, 22-22-22, 22-22. But yeah, that's when the more consistent dominance, you'd say dominance, winning it that many times, is for sure for QPR. Then you can maybe point out AFC Wimbledon. Have they got any success? We'll go to overview. They haven't really won anything, but they're kind of established now. You can see pretty good results in the Premier League in terms of just, keeping their position. Barnet still there as well. Did they get relegated? Or have they stayed up? They got, relegated. But for majority of the save, Barnet has been in the Premier League since they've got there, essentially. Look how long they've maintained. This is, over 200 years. Okay, they were up and down initially there for a bit, but after that, they consolidated. And keep in mind where they would have started if you go all the way back to, in League 2. So, hey, that's pretty good. That's pretty good by them from a League 2 team to a team now. Well, okay. They were, 200 years. I said 200 years, but then they kind of slipped back. But there was like 1 year there and one there. So for the most part, I think that was just a couple bad seasons. But now they're getting back. Like, they came 6th a few seasons ago. A couple seasons ago now. So in the safe. So yeah, they're back to that. Maybe bad management. We don't have to go too much in detail. But yeah, that's really interesting. But I'm going to check out the Sky Bet Championship because I haven't seen Tottenham or Liverpool. I'm wondering, surely they'll be in the Championship. Liverpool is, okay. But where's Tottenham, though? Maybe they've dropped even further down. How far have Tottenham dropped? Oh, no, but Liverpool... Liverpool still haven't won anything. That was the talk of the last one I did, the 200 years in the future. So, yeah, in the year 2400, they've still got nothing. But I don't know. Why was they're in a tough position in this save now. Like, again, you can see no Champions Leagues, no Premier Leagues won in this save at all. Obviously, when they started badly, like when they got that form, it's hard to get back to how they used to be, you know what I mean? So the Premier League, they started like finishing in top 4, they finished around 6, and when did that form start to dip here? So around like 2070, around then they started more mid-table, and then you can see after the relegation, then things would have become hard for them. So that's what I mean. Like, I can't imagine Liverpool getting relegated in real life, and see when they get back into the Premier League, they were never the same team again. Maybe they finished 4th, trying to get close to something respectable, and then they get relegated, and it's obviously this, like I said, it's a lot of years, but if we progress a bit, they even got relegated to League One, but they got right back. But that feeling for Liverpool, are they going to have a way back? Because right now they're just a struggling team in the Championship. And what is their money like? Their estimated value is just over 37 million. The season budget wasn't even $1 million. The balance is 4 million. Like, they're gone. Their capacity is 25k right now at the Kenny Dalglish Arena. Is there a way back for Liverpool? Should I do a challenge save with this? Because, it's a year 2400, and I'll be Liverpool in the year 2400 to try and get them back, because they aren't going to get back. Like, you can see these lower league teams who would have been, they would have been even in a worse position, but it's just how Liverpool are compared to how they used to be. I just can't see it happening for them. I don't know. And if you see there, their season ticket holders is about 20k. And we'll go to a real top Premier League team in Manchester United, 86,000. So yeah, that is really, really huge. And again, just to show you, what, 39 Champions Leagues won. Look at that success. But also, I don't want to get, I say like get too ahead of myself. It's not like I've won it or anything. But what I mean is not to get too excited, because they haven't won a Champions League for over 100 years in this save. So come on. And how about in the Premier League as well? Okay, they just won this year. So did they struggle for a while, or were they still pretty consistent? No, they were. Just in the Champions League, for whatever reason, they weren't able to win. Like, it's been over 100 seasons. So, yeah, I don't know. That's interesting. But I thought, as we're on the topic, I'm going to go to the past winners of the... See, QPR's winning. Look how much they are compared... Like, Manchester United in this save hasn't been able to win in over 100 years, and QPR is getting it done. Like, that is crazy. But how about the most winners? Monaco has got 50. So even though I don't have the French leagues loaded, they're still, obviously, they're going to be doing their own thing. You can see the players they have. If we go to the value, see, we can still check out the regions they have. Let's check out this Brazilian lad. Look at those attributes. Brazil, I can just imagine they'll have like so many good regions. And if I didn't show you something in this episode, there's a good chance I would have showed it in like a previous one. Go check out my 200 years in the future, that kind of stuff. And I'll have more coming as well. As I said, I want to get to the year 3000. And I wonder by then if Liverpool is still busted. But also now to check out the World Cup. Now there's been quite a few. Obviously, the previous one I did, it's like, oh, there hasn't been so many, because obviously there's not a World Cup every single year. But yeah, you can see the dominance there. We'll just go to the records. You can see 16 for Germany. So 16 is a decent number, but it's, I wouldn't say there's been one dominant team. Like, you got Nigeria winning. Like, okay, that was what, it's still 6 years ago in this save, but I want to see, and even Scotland was runner-up. I just want to see, I just expect to be all these pacey players, to be honest. But they must be more than that now. Let's see their highest valued player. Who's this? Moses Alimi, 27. What club does he play for? Yeah, of course, Monaco. So, obviously, like, he's all right. Like, he looks like a solid, like, compared to Premier League. Okay, for Monaco, he'll be really good. You'll see he'll be dominant. But I wouldn't say he's outstanding. He's got some of those attributes, 16, then a few 17s there as well. But, yeah, I wouldn't say it's crazy. But then, look, when a player's over 30 years of age and his value's still 53 million, like, compare that to the goalkeeper next, is pretty much half his value. This guy, yeah, sure, look at that passing technique, great defensive midfielder. For a guy that could play more defensive positions, his defensive ability isn't that amazing. He seems more that creative type. He'll be a great deep lane playmaker just at first look. That first touch looks excellent as well. If anything, just his height, then a low jumping reach, poor jumping reach. Yeah, that will be the only thing. And look, 137 caps. That's filthy. How about that for a signing for Bayern, a team that would be able to spend lots of money, I assume, where they are still at the save, in the save. But, pretty good. But guys, we will revert back to Sky Bet League One, because I think in terms of the biggest team, even though I believe they got promoted again, we'll just go to the stages and we'll go to the league table. Yeah, Tottenham, they got through the playoffs, so they're back in the championship, but they were still in League One. That's like that's a big shock. They dropped down like Liverpool. They won one Champions League, so that was in the first season of this save. And in terms of Premier Leagues, yeah, they won a couple, but after that, nothing. Let's just go down. How long did it take them to be, like, yeah, see, they were solid in the Premier League for all that time. And then they got back consistent in the Premier League again until this era there. And then, yeah, when that happened, they really couldn't get back from that. So, again, they're the same as Liverpool right now. They'll get promoted again, but they're no longer strong Premier League clubs. Like, you see there, their estimated value as well. Nothing to shout about, and they're balanced, they're in the red. And then season ticket holders again, 16,000. So it is a big drop-off. And if we take a look at some other former Premier League teams, as well, in previous years at least, Blackburn's gone to League 2. Crystal Palace almost getting relegated to League 2 as well. Wigan used to be in the Premier League. Aston Villa as well, sitting in League 1. And I'll check out League 2 as well, as there's not really... There's Huddersfield there, but they've gotten promoted. But what I wanted to show you, maybe some lower teams. There's like Woking, Hempstead, like any of these lower teams that you guys maybe follow yourself as a local club, and seeing them at least in the footballing leagues, you might find it interesting. So maybe try and see someone like a Blackpool who's in the Vanarama National League now in the conference. So this part-time kind of level, no longer a professional club. Blackpool, obviously they would want to get back. Oh, how about this though? I was wondering, West Brom. West Brom, what are you doing here? How long have you been here? What would be more of a challenge? Trying to get Liverpool back to their success? Or West Brom, like a lower league management save? But that's like similar to what... They got one Premier League victory, and that was in 1920. Obviously, I'm not surprised they wouldn't have had success, but they're this far down, and they've been for a while, so it's not just, maybe they had some unlucky times after they got relegated down to like League 2 and down to the conference. They didn't get back right away, so yeah, that's pretty interesting, as they were pretty solid, obviously, Premier League team that is in the conference, in the Vanarama National League, so that's a really huge, interesting one. Obviously not a top 4, top 6 Premier League team, but just a team that starts in the Premier League completely ruined. And it's interesting, season budget. Like, this is the league I'm managing in. Go check it out. My save that I have right now with Gainsborough Trinity. 200k, that will be a lot to do with. I'll do a lot with that. And here I want to check out the National League South. Is there the same shocks? So yeah, no one notable like West Brom. There's like Gillingham, Bristol Rovers. Obviously not the same kind of comparison. But maybe some of these other teams, like there's Wingate and Finchley. Like, I haven't heard of them all this time in the lower leagues. Maybe I would have played against them in a cup once when they had all grayed out players, something like that, or just regens. And then Royston. Let's just click on them. I'm not going to click on all these teams, but just so you know, that look how many years you can't even see their history. They're like in the regional Premier League division. So yeah, just to give you that idea. So yeah, I think I'll leave it there. We'll leave it on the Premier League again. And if you've just watched this one, you haven't seen the others, make sure you do go check out the others. I'll probably put it on like at the end of the video where you can click on other videos. They'll show up. So yeah, if you haven't seen those, some of you guys that have been watching this, that have seen them, that got notified of these, yeah, you probably would have seen them already. But yeah, the further you go, it's just the more interesting the English leagues are looking. There's multiple teams that are surprises in terms of doing well and doing badly. So just let me know what you think in the comments. Drop a like on the video also if you want me to start like making the save available to download. But what I just think is, like, if I'm going to keep doing it, like, I don't want to make a save every single time because I plan to keep doing this. I don't want to stop it. So... But would you want me to make like a save every single time? I don't mind. But yeah, make sure you drop a like on the video if you'd like to see this. Share the video. Subscribe if you're new, of course. And I'll see you guys next time.